These yummy muffins are great for breakfast or for snacking any time of the day. Just don't eat too many.
Hi, I'm Liz, and I'm a volunteer with the National Council of Jewish Women, Greater Dallas Section, Food+Fit equals Fun. Today I'm going to share with you a recipe called Yummy Breakfast Muffins. These are delicious, nutritious breakfast foods or snacks. You can make them ahead of time, you can refrigerate them for a few days, or even freeze them. I like to prepare all of my ingredients ahead of time, which means actually measuring everything out, so I am completely ready to go. I like to preheat the oven. This time it's to 400 degrees, and then I choose which type of muffin tin I'd like to use. You can do muffins that are a regular size serving, or these tiny little petite, almost a couple of bite little muffins, and kids absolutely love these muffins. I like to line mine with these paper liners for easy cleanup, but you can also use a spray to help keep the muffins from sticking. So starting with what I will call our wet ingredients, we have 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar. This happens to be dark brown sugar for this recipe. 1/4 cup of canola oil, 2 eggs. I've already beaten the eggs just a little bit. 1 cup of unsweetened applesauce, and one important tip about applesauce and baking, and that is if you're trying to lower your fat intake, you can use applesauce instead of oil when baking. By exchanging applesauce for oil, you use the same amount. In other words, if you are going to use 1 cup of oil, you use 1 cup of applesauce. And also try to stick with unsweetened applesauce because apples already are plenty sweet. We also have in the recipe 1 teaspoon of lemon juice and 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Before we mix together what we're calling the liquid ingredients, I'd like to tell you about the dry ingredients. We will have 1 cup of all-purpose white flour, 1 cup of wheat flour. Important to know, whole wheat flour is made up of ground grains. It contains all parts of the grain, which makes it more nutritious and more full of fiber than regular flour. It is also rich in vitamins and has more iron, calcium, and protein than white flour. White flour, on the other hand, is stripped of many of its ingredients and contains only a small portion of wheat. It is often bleached with whitening agents or chemicals to make it look clean and pure. So try to choose unbleached flour when using white flour. And for example, when you shop, here's how you can tell. Read your nutrition label, but here it says bleached. So try to stay away from bleached and try to use unbleached when you're using all-purpose flour. We also have 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and just so you know, baking soda is also known as sodium bicarbonate. It is used in baked goods such as breads and cakes to help them rise. Baking soda becomes activated when it's combined with an acidic ingredient such as buttermilk, which I will tell you about in one moment, which is in this recipe. Next we have 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and we have 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, which brings us to, next is our buttermilk, 3/4 of a cup of low-fat buttermilk. And buttermilk is an important part of baking because when you combine it with the baking soda, it helps your baked goods rise. Buttermilk is somewhat misleading because it contains no butter. Buttermilk is high in potassium, vitamin B12, calcium, and riboflavin, as well as a good source of phosphorus, and it's easy to digest. And if you don't have buttermilk at home, which many of us do not, it's actually very easy to make. You can take 1 tablespoon of vinegar or lemon juice and 1 cup of milk, and you can mix them all together. Let it sit for a few minutes, and voila, you have your own buttermilk. The last little tiny set of ingredients, very simple, is the topping of the muffins. This is 2 tablespoons of brown sugar and 1.5 tablespoons of ground flax seed. Ground flax seed. Flax seed provides a good amount of protein, fiber, and omega-3 fatty acids, in addition to being a rich source of vitamins and minerals. Flaxseed can help lower cholesterol, aid in constipation, heart health, autoimmune disease, inflammation, and cancer risk reduction. And all we do is we take these two ingredients, we just mix them up as much as we can, and they will become our topping after we put the ingredients in the muffin tins. Okay, those can sit over there for a moment. First, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put all of our wet ingredients in the blender. Okay, there's one. That was applesauce, remember, unsweetened. Here's our brown sugar. We have our vanilla. I like to really scrape and make sure. I love vanilla. Don't want to miss any of that. Our lemon. We have our 2 eggs. Okay. And do not forget our canola oil. There we go. And go ahead and gently mix this. We don't want to splatter ourselves. Start slowly. And you can bring it up a little bit. Very nice. Becomes one color, then you know you are fully mixed. And what I like to do is just kind of give it a little hand mix, scrape the bottom a little bit, and then we are ready to mix our dry ingredients, which are our 2 flours. Remember, one was white flour, one was wheat flour, our baking soda and salt, our cinnamon, and we're gonna hold off on that buttermilk just yet. We wanna mix this up and make sure that it's all mixed up and we don't have our baking soda and salt sitting in one little area. And then what we're going to do is, in batches, alternate mixing the wet ingredients with the dry ingredients with the buttermilk. So let's start out by adding a little bit of the dry. Try not to make too much of a mess, but if you do, it doesn't matter. Go ahead and turn that on. Mix that up. And go ahead and we'll add a little bit of our buttermilk. Keep that going. We're going to add a little bit more of their dry ingredients. This is where I tend to make a mess, but it's okay. How to enjoy your baking and have fun with it. A little more buttermilk. Again, I don't want to miss anything. I'll scrape a little bit. I might stop it. Scrape the bowl. Here, I'll kind of show you what I'm trying to do there, or won't. Scrape the bowl to make sure none is stuck on the bottom. We'll go ahead and add the rest of our flour. There we go. Make just a little bit more of a mess. So that's all mixed up. Start slow again so your flour doesn't go all over the kitchen. There we go. Again, we're going to scrape the bowl. Let's just place that on the side. There we go. We're going to come over here where our wet and dry ingredients are mixed together. And we're going to make sure everything is fully mixed up. Now comes one more really fun part, and that is to make it even more healthy and nutritious. I like to add a mixture of shredded zucchini. Just go ahead and put that right in. Shredded carrots. And this is kind of like just to give it more vitamins and minerals. I also like to add raisins. Blueberries. These are actually wild blueberries, but you can use any kind of blueberries that you have. And you also can add, if you like, cranberries, dark chocolate, dates, whatever your family likes. And we're going to go ahead and mix everything up by hand. Nice and mixed. And then we are going to put them in the muffin papers, all ready to go. See how that looks? Beautiful. So here we are, home stretch, ready. Muffins are all ready to be added to the muffin containers. And I like to use an ice cream scoop, but you can use a spoon or whatever you have handy. And I will just take, you want to fill these guys about 3/4 full, maybe a little bit more. But try to make them even so they all bake evenly. Just like this. And then remember that topping? Go ahead at your flax and your brown sugar. Make sure it's all mixed up. And you're just going to sprinkle a little bit on the top of each of these. This topping really makes them yummy, aka yummy breakfast muffins. We will continue until this is entirely full. We will bake them. Okay, we are ready to bake. Remember, 400 degrees. We're going to go ahead and bake these for about 20 minutes. And you can check them with the toothpick. Let's go ahead and we'll set a timer, or timer on your phone, whatever works for you. And in 20 minutes, yum yum, you'll check them with the toothpick and make sure the toothpick comes out clean and you're ready to go. Okay, it has been 20 minutes, and of course I have cleaned up the kitchen and cleaned up all those dirty dishes, and our muffins are ready to come out. You can just smell how good they are. And remember, they are hot. You want to make sure that they cool down before you eat them. But does that not look wonderful? You see how the brown sugar and the flax kind of caramelized a little bit along the top? Enjoy these muffins, and just remember they are full of wonderful ingredients, very healthy, and you can grab them on the go and have a good time.
Our yummy muffins recipe has traveled all the way to Cape Town, South Africa. It's been renamed Unathai Muffins, which means God is with us in Xhosa. These ingredients include carrots and zucchini and apples and oats. This picture shows the children at Emmanuel Center enjoying the muffins. This recipe in English and Spanish is available in the Facebook group NCJW Dallas and at www.ncjwdallas.org.